My name is Dani. My pronouns are she, her. Grew up right around here, an affirming family that you wouldn't quite expect. You normally think of that as being like, maybe northern or liberal family. It's actually, pretty conservative country family, hunting, fishing, like that kind of crew. My dad had friends in the military, of different races, and I saw that a lot of other people their parents or their family didn't really have friends outside of their race. They kind of, even the church they went to or whatever, they kind of mostly had friends of their same race. And I had a gay uncle, and I thought everybody had a gay uncle. I was like, who's your gay uncle? To me, it was just, family was all different people that had all different, interests.
I'm feeling queer today.
Welcome to a very special bonus episode of I'm Feeling Queer Today, the podcast that amplifies the voices of LGBTQ+ young people for listeners like you, whoever you are. Brought to you by the Future Perfect Project. I'm Hannie, I use she, her pronouns, and I'm excited to share this bonus episode of IFQT with you. Before we begin, we want to give a shout out to Mackenzie, a very special listener who called into the show on SpeakPipe.
Hi, I just listened to one of the podcasts for the first time and I love it. I love you guys. I love what you guys do and would love to hear more from Uplift. I am also from South Carolina. So glad you guys did a podcast episode with them. They are an amazing group and I love them so much. So yeah, have a good day. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you for your support, Mackenzie. If you, listening right now, want to give us a call, just head to our voicemail box at speakpipe.com/IFQT. That's speakpipe.com/IFQT. Mackenzie asked for more Spartanburg on the podcast, and we listened. In Season 3, we kicked things off in Spartanburg, South Carolina, where we met the community at the Uplift Outreach Center, and that's where we'll return for today's bonus episode. We sat down with Stela Prado-Garrett and her mom, Dani, to talk about what it was like for Stella to come out as pansexual to her family. Take a listen.
I didn't realize that not necessarily everybody was like that. Like people rehearse in their brain like, oh, what would you do if one of your kids ever said they were gay? Like, well, I'd tell them this. I didn't rehearse anything in my brain. And I think they kind of tested the waters by asking some questions like, isn't that against the Bible? Just making sure they understood. My answer to that question was, I believe in God. But I also believe God has got a great sense of humor. He created the platypus. I mean, how crazy is it? Like a mammal with fur that swims and has a duck bill. It includes all of the crazy stuff. And I don't think that God's binary and that like the most beautiful things are not the day and the night, it's the sunsets. Just the diversity of creation is awesome. And I think somebody got a book from the library where we were talking about different terms, things that I had never heard, pansexual, things like that. And a couple months later, we're sitting in the bed, my husband and I, and Stella came in and had a text on her phone.
It doesn't have to be verbal. It can be a note. It can be a text message.
She just didn't want to say the words. And she showed it to me. She said, it said, I am pan. And I was like, ooh, that's one of my new vocabulary words. So I was like, oh, wow. She just trusted me with telling me that. I was like, that's really cool. I
don't really care what you are or who you are, or who you love. But I just like you for you. Because I'm a feelings girl, for sure. So.
And her sibling was there. And they were talking back and forth. The next thing you know, we're kind of crying. And my husband, who's primarily speaks Spanish.
I think I was more fearful of my dad finding out because I don't think he would understand and accept just because of cultural differences.
He was like, what's happening? So I'm explaining to him. And I was like, do you understand? What we're saying? And he's like, yeah. But that's fine. Why are y'all crying, though? I kind of, not to say wrap it up with Stella, but just to be like, okay. I was like, well, why were you, so scared to tell me? she'd said that there were some people she knew had some not great reactions, you know, being kicked out or things like that. And I was like, well, and you know, that's not going to happen. You know, I love you, you know, regardless. It's not in spite of you saying that. It's like, I love you including that, like, all of it.
That's why I could never put a finger on why I was so hesitant, because she had never presented any behaviors that would lead me to even be fearful.
Actually, like, I'm more confused about the fact that you don't like green beans.
I really was mad that she just started moving on about some vegetable I didn't like.
You know, like, here we are going from, like, serious moment to, like, crying to, like, now you're talking about green beans. You know, just like she's supposed to like green beans. You have to kind of let that go and say, well, actually, she really likes cactus. That's fine with me. That she doesn't eat green beans. I don't force her to eat green beans. I don't get upset with her about not eating green beans. We just buy her cactus and let her cook her cactus. Because no matter what you put in front of somebody, you can't make somebody like something. You know, you can't make somebody who they are. Some of those things are just part of you.
I think I was expecting, okay, I still love you. What brought this on? Or what are the next steps?
My mind didn't go there about, like, I need to be reassuring about these things. Like, yes, I love you. This does not change anything at all. You know, I hear people say things like, what about grandkids? And, you know, there's people in my family that are straight and just have decided to not have kids or could not have kids or whatever. And I did ask one time, like, when did you first have, like, a crush or something? And you told me it was the girl chef in Ratatouille. And
yeah, she was like a short, dark red hair bob.
Yeah.
And just, like, very foxy. And I was just like, she's cute. She's cute.
And I was like, really? I was like, she's cute, but I mean, she seemed kind of mean. Like, I'm thinking, I really hope she doesn't find, like, a partner who's really mean. I think she really needs somebody who's definitely, like, soft and gentle and, like, willing to be understanding and patient.
I'm glad that it went the way it went. It will always be a memory. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm satisfied. I'm glad it happened. I knew I was safe. I'm glad I did it young, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that I felt better about too, that not just, you know, that you trust me enough to tell me, but that I know so many people that weren't able to come out until later in life, and I know it really affected them enjoying all of their life and being able to meet the potential that they could have because they were so boxed in. People act like in order to acknowledge and accept LGBTQ people, you need to ignore the Bible. And I think that's not true at all. One thing that people need to do is just listen to some of those other voices and those other views on what the Bible says. Nobody's saying you need to ignore it, but listen and realize you're almost going to feel angry because you're going to feel like, why have I been deceived so long? People are misrepresenting Jesus in this way. Christians should be upset that our religion and Jesus' teachings are turned into something hateful. Like, Jesus literally was about love. As I see little movements towards that, other people are starting to feel the same things, and hopefully there will be more resources and more connections for people.
With the territory of being queer, you get community and you get opportunities and you get to be yourself. I remember thinking that I felt doomed, that I was gonna marry a guy. I was just like, I guess when I move out, I can experiment and be with whoever I want, like, behind closed doors, but at the end of the day, I still have to marry a man. And then, like, later that year, I come out, and I'm just like, well, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can marry whoever I want. I don't have to stick to this straight line. It's difficult, but I can't imagine doing it anywhere else because this is where I've had to do it.
Even when you think I'm in the most, you know, I'm in the South, I'm in a homophobic area, you have to find your community, you have to find your connections, get out of your comfort zone, and you build it from there. But you have to make that first step. Just Googling things. I found Uplift by Googling teen LGBTQ Spartanburg, South Carolina.
having internet and being able to like put my finger on that opened my world.
The internet or going to a drag show is not going to make you not heterosexual. That is already who you are. When you see, it's like not a menu, but when you see things and then you go along and you're like, that's what I couldn't put into words, that thing right there, and there's a word for it, and there's other people that feel that way. I think that makes you feel less alone and less stuck in your thoughts. Just God's creation's an immense diversity. You start to get excited about diversity. And you're like, oh, what else is out there? Like, this is cool. And I think the more you get excited about and be positive about, hey, like, I was created with a purpose. Like, I'm created differently for some reason. I think it's empowering.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Hannie, and you've been listening to I'm Feeling Queer Today. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and share the show with your friends, your family, or even your USPS letter carrier. A 5-star rating goes a long way to support us in making more episodes of the podcast. If you're new here, welcome to the party. If you like this episode, make sure to go back and listen to our other episodes about queer life in Spartanburg. Plus, we have an entire new season out for you to enjoy. You can listen to all 9 episodes of Season 3 wherever you get your podcasts. We want to hear from you. That's why we set up our online voicemail box for you, our listeners, to leave us messages. Go to speakpipe.com/IFQT and drop us a line, just like Mackenzie did at the top of the episode. That's speakpipe.com/IFQT. Let us know what you think of the podcast, any topics you want us to cover on the pod, and don't forget to ask yourself, how am I feeling queer today? For more information and resources about this episode, check out the show notes in the description or check out the episode page at thefutureperfectproject.org/podcast. If you or a young person you know between the ages of 13 and 24 is currently in crisis, visit thetrevorproject.org for LGBTQIA+ specific support through text and chat, or call 1-866-488-7386. These resources will be in the show notes too. To learn more about the Future Perfect Project, head to our website, thefutureperfectproject.org, and find us on social media at The Future Perfect Project. Thank you to our contributors, Stella Prado-Garrett and Dani Prado. This episode was recorded in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and produced by Emma Jane Seslowski, Julie Novak, and me, Hannie Saba. IFQT is produced by the Future Perfect Project with support from Radio Kingston, WKNY, Kingston, New York, and our I'm Feeling Queer Today podcast cohort. Alex Massey, Parker McKenzie, Samuel Smalls, Lily Muller, Eric Eubank, and Zorian Edwards. Our theme song is performed and composed by Alex Massey and produced by Emma Jane Seslowski. Additional music from Epidemic Sound. Episode editing, mixing, and mastering by Emma Jane Seslowski. This episode was hosted by me, Hannie. Special thanks to executive producer and mentor Celeste Lassine, as well as the Future Perfect Project team members Ryan Amador, Kika Wan, and Aaliyah Jamil.